Hi, my name is Bree, and my pronouns are she, her, hers, and I serve as the Assistant Director of the Women's Center. I had the honor and pleasure of serving as one of the main curators alongside my colleague and great friend, Isaiah Lucas.
I am Isaiah Lucas. I use he, him pronouns, and I serve as a program coordinator for the African American Culture Center, and her partner in good trouble for this exhibition.
Indeed! Yes, sir!
Yeah, so the HERMonies exhibition correlates with something that the Women's Center, African American Culture Center do on an annual basis, and that's a joint exhibition for Women's History Month and Black History Month. And really what HERMonies is an opportunity for us to elevate the platforms of Black women who have advanced movements musically and who have been doing this work of lyrical liberation for a long time. So we're highlighting the work of Aretha Franklin, Billie Holiday, Queen Latifah, Beyonce, Nina Simone. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think something else too for us is to really think about how do we tie in both the mission, vision, and values of the work that we do in the Women's Center and the great work that Isaiah and the African American Culture Center staff do. So when we think about the exhibit centering Black women was super important and imperative as we think about the intersectional work that we do. It's no secret, Black women has been at the forefront of many movements, speaking up and speaking out lyrically. Civil rights movement, women's suffrages march, Stonewall riots, you name it. We have been at the forefront, and it was really important for people to understand that songs have meanings and connections, and they have very important and critical social justice concepts starting to develop and tied to them.
And one of the things we wanted to make sure that our students gain from this experience is to be critical consumers of the music they hear, because it's not only soothing to the ears, but it really is moving movements. It's shaping our world, it's breaking the silence, it's doing so many things. So we really wanted to create a platform and a space through this interactive exhibit. There has never been an exhibit like this before.
Never!
Through this, we want to inspire students to be critical consumers of the things they listen to. One of the things that me and Bree united on is our passion for music.
Yes.
And we ran into a lot of obstacles and hurdles of people not knowing is this exhibit gonna work? Is this gonna be a program? Is this really gonna be art?
Because we've never seen the concept before. And knowing who we are as change agents, we're really innovative in who we are and how we show up in the space. So it's okay if you don't believe in it, right? God didn't give you the vision, so it will make sense that you can't understand it. But the opening of the exhibit was one of the most unforgettable and transformative experience because it's a concept no one has done. This is not an idea that we took from somewhere else. This was us engaging in thought partnership, putting together our skills, expertise, and our passion areas to develop something that will be impactful and that will leave a lasting legacy when it comes to NC State exhibits. What's your thoughts?
I would also argue that I think that when you think about the exhibit holistically, when you think about how we used vinyl records, how we use a dressing room, how we use pictures of them, how we told the story of who they are and their contributions. All of those to me make artifacts. All of those to me make cultural artifacts. So even outside of the musical lens, if you look at everything that we intentionally place in the exhibit, it's telling a story. I think what I hope people get out of this exhibit is that we talk about cultural groups not being a monolith, but social justice is not a monolith. Social justice shows up and plays out in so many different ways. And we want to empower people who are artists, who are creators, who are poets, who are painters, to know that work can stretch far beyond what you think it can. It can actually change the world, actually shape the world, it can change system, it can challenge the status quo. So I think we wanted to make sure that people know that social justice is diverse in its nature, and that music is another element that you can use to change the world.
Yeah. Isaiah, I couldn't have said it better myself. I think some additional things that I would add on to that is we also want students, staff, and faculty on this campus to know every day you're interacting with social justice. It's a part of our everyday lives, from the things that you listen to, from the people that you support, right? Throughout our exhibit, we only didn't highlight the social justice contributions that these Black women embodied through their music. We also made connections to their philanthropical efforts and how those align with advancing different social justice efforts that they have developed or created or were a part of. And that's really important, right? We want students to, when you're listening to music, take the time to learn who the person is. What's their story? Learning the story and the identities of the artist that you're listening to will help you drastically understand why they show up the way that they do as an artist, who they are, and why do they tell the story the way that they do.
I think the exhibit is hope. I think it offers people of color an opportunity to know that these movements will continue to move. That there is hope, there is joy. Even when I think down to the lyrics of some of the songs like Freedom by Beyonce, Unity by Queen Latifah, when I think of some of the tracks, I think that in summing it all up is hope. And I think that black women have laid down a foundation to continue to create and develop a foundation for us as people to have hope. That through our adversity, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that we keep working together, if we keep standing in solidarity, that we can really create a world that's more equitable and just for generations to come. So I think HERMonies is a message of hope to the entire NC State community, that through music, we can continue to move movements.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. I feel like Isaiah said it all. I think the piece that I would add is for me as a black woman and centering my identities, I wanted the world to see that black women are dope. They are dynamic innovators and creators, and they truly shape and transform the world and everything that they do. So for me as a black woman, it was exciting to see how the community responded to the exhibit, how students are now able to critically engage in the future with black women contributions to advancing social justice movements. That's a part of the learning. That's a part of the work. It made me so excited. HERMonies will be an unforgettable memory. I think it'll be one of my favorite memories throughout my student affairs career. Because of the messaging and how creative we were able to develop the concept, Isaiah and I together. What I think is also important is that in social justice movements, when we think about, the civil rights era and we hear about other movements, whether that's the Stonewall Riots or the Women's Suffrage March, we hear about the great contributions of the civil rights era of black men and how they advanced social justice movements. The voices of black women are silenced in those movements. Black women have been at the forefront and continue to be at the forefront, and that exhibit was a highlight of that. And that is what I wanted people to take away from that, is don't doubt the dopeness and the magic of a black woman.